Good afternoon. This is İskit, and you are watching What's New, What's News. As you know, this is the now trending topic across the world. Actually, we will be discussing today artificial intelligence, how it will affect our lives, how it will affect our jobs, and other elements as well. I have a distinguished guest today, Can Ertuna. Let me invite him. He is a journalist and also an academician. Welcome, Mr. Ertuna. How are you?
Thank you, Gerard. Thank you for having me. All is fine. Thank you.
I really appreciate that you spare your time with me today. I know your schedule is tight, and this is a recording live. We recorded yesterday, but let's dig in because everyone is just. It's like a division now. One part is discussing. It is very exciting new. Brand new world. I mean, it's not a brand new world, but now it is in our lives, artificial intelligence. And the other part is actually frightening about this idea. And also they're maybe watching the science fictions and some fantasy movies or something like that. So how will this AI shaping our daily lives in the next decade, do you think?
It has already started to shape our lives in a very dramatic and effective way. And you talked about the views of techno-optimists and techno-pessimists. I'm somewhere in between them. I'm not fetishizing the technology, be it AI or be it any new media technologies or internet technologies. I think the dangers and some shortcomings of technology should be handled with care, definitely. But by putting this aside, there will definitely be a lot of effects in our daily lives, which will ease many of the things that we have been struggling with for decades, for centuries, or for thousands of years, maybe, with the help of this widely available AI technology, which is not a new technology, but it has been made available for the general public a year and a half ago. And, the pace of the development is incredible. I mean, if you're closely following the new AI technologies, each and every day you see new applications, new tools are developed. So one question comes to the mind, and if we can really control this incredible pace in this AI technology, I mean, it will definitely shape our future. It has started to change our daily routines. I mean, once you think about different sectors, different services in our daily lives, from health to education, from finance to governance or government services, AI has been started to be used or adapted to many of the services, many of the things that we are doing. It has started to shape, and definitely it will have a huge impact in our daily lives within a couple of years. I'm quite skeptical about that, but the number of people who just think AI, the second biggest innovation after the founding of the writing thousands of years ago, are not so small. So it is something really dramatic. It will change our lives, which brings us to the question: how shall we, in a way, develop it in an ethical and in a controlled manner, so that we could decrease the problems that would arise with the adoption of these new technologies in every aspects of our lives?
Mm-hmm. Well, as you mentioned, actually, ethical concern is another matter to discuss, because I think this is very concerning, especially considering our jobs as well. Journalists, some how do you say, some creative, maybe arts or any other kind of writers, maybe fictioners, etc. You can give other examples as well. This is another concern. Do you think it will kind of move into some maybe constitutional stage, or any kind of things will change this? Because this is very important, I think.
Mhm. There has been a lot of problems and a lot of outcries from various sectors that you have previously mentioned when it comes to the copyright issues, and it's also an ethical issue, huge ethical issue. Just remember the Screenwriters Guild of Hollywood, if I'm not mistaken, about how a lot of scripts for the future films or TV series, or let's say not TV, but platform series, started to be written with the extensive help by artificial intelligence, large language models. Or voiceover artists are really furious about the cloning of their voices when it comes to social media advertorials, without their consent, of course, and without getting a penny or any money, because it's just the replication of the voice. And when it comes to the business of journalism, New York Times sued ChatGPT because they said you are training your large language model, your AI generator, with the news input that our journalists have produced, and we have dedicated a lot of resources for that journalistic project. So copyright issues is a huge issue, and it should definitely be, it will definitely be at some time in a very near future, part of not maybe a constitutional, but a legal framework, definitely, both in the European Union, in the United States, in other developed or developing countries. Another issue is, of course, surveillance technologies. I mean, with the harvesting, incredible harvesting of big data about facial recognition, voice recognition technologies, and the power that these large language models or other AI-generated systems have, surveillance would be more easy, more effective, less detectable, and more widespread, both in democratic and authoritarian countries. It's become a very cheap technology. I mean, the harvesting of such massive data with AI-powered technologies has become cheaper and more accessible. This is also another issue, and maybe not really very widespread concern that has been pronounced, but the AI, just like every new technology, has the danger of increasing the gap between those who have and those who do not have. I mean, by this I mean those who have the technological capacity, those who can have an access to really cloud computing systems, and those who are just ordinary customers who do not have access to that computational power. So the technological divide and digital divide might well increase with the widespread usage of artificial intelligence.
Well, it is how do you say, it is either it is in between optimist and pessimist perspective for sure, but hopefully something, I mean, with the legal framework, definitely there must be something to do with, so hopefully it will come soon. Can AI truly replicate human creativity and intuition, or are there any inherent limitations? Because this is another concern of people saying that, oh, emotionally, maybe it will detach soon with the advanced level of AI, because now we are in the general AI level. So and also, of course, it refers to the science fiction movies that they will take on the world and the humanity, and they will rule the world. This is the next generation. What do you think about that?
First of all, I'm not a computer scientist. I'm a journalist, and I've been a communication scholar, communication academic. So I don't want to speculate about the future possibilities of not artificial. I don't want to speculate about artificial general intelligence, which would be the next step after generative artificial intelligence. However, when it comes to let's say, business of journalism or art of journalism, uh, there I can have a say, I believe, because I mean, let's restrict our speculation to the field of journalism, Jaran. You have been also involved in journalism for many years. You know what? AI will definitely replace all the routine tasks that journalists have been doing in the newsrooms, right? Like writing a TV news script from agency wire, like a Reuters wire, Associated Press, or AFP wire. It will definitely be so easy for AI generated newsrooms. Or AI will definitely give at some point those breaking news flash. They have started to. I mean, we know that many financial services like Bloomberg and Reuters have already started to employ AI when they're just giving the breaking news. However, just imagine, one of the most important things in journalism is investigative journalism, or you should be specialized in some fields. I mean, when it comes to, for example, legal issues, you know, you are confronted with a huge file of sometimes hundreds of pages. You need definitely deep experience in understanding where the wrongdoings are. And you need to, in a way, analyze those hundreds of pages with your experience, expertise, or sometimes you need to, in a way, convince a whistleblower to talk to you. I mean, you cannot expect a machine or a AI-powered chatbot to convince a whistleblower who has access to very critical information, but who is not willing to speak. So you need a human touch there. You need an analytical human touch to make judgments when it comes to critical issues, as I told, legal issues. Sometimes you need to read between the lines of a diplomatic cable or a diplomatic message, because the nature of diplomacy coverage is usually reading between the lines. Or you need to get on well with your sources, and you need to keep up with the search for new sources. I mean, when you go to the fields, you need our sources. In the end, are people, and we will definitely need people with expertise, with specific talents, with gifted, who are gifted investigative journalists or writers, news writers in the industry. I think this will never be replaced. The very basic journalistic traits will never be replaced. But when it comes to routine and mediocre journalism, I mean, those chairs in the newsroom will be emptied, and maybe in a typical foreign news desk, in a typical Turkish TV newsroom, or a converged newsroom, I mean, maybe one day you will see 2 or 3 foreign news journalists, editors, in the seat of 7, 8, or 10 foreign news journals because they won't be needed anymore, definitely. So routine will be has started to be replaced, to be honest, will be replaced, but exclusive news or investigative journalism and quality work, the work of slow journalism, for example, in the field of communication will never be replaced. And in the greater field of communication, I mean, the creativity will not be totally replaced by AI-powered applications or tools. We will still need more and more creative people. I mean, they're telling you will need prompt engineers. What's a prompt engineer in journalism? He or she should be experienced diplomatic correspondent, foreign news editor, or parliamentary correspondent. That will be the next talented prompt generator for the news industry, for the advertisement industry. You will definitely need a lot of creativity because the sector will be flooded by AI created mediocre and boring stuff, if you ask.
Yes. Well, it is a little bit concerning, especially considering our job field. Hopefully, I mean, human creativity is something else, right? This is not like you just ask for a robot or AI, whatever, and automatically gives you some information. It is sometimes useful, but not always. So I think it should be bear in mind for that matter.
Human
But
creativity and genuine intelligence, I should say.
yes, exactly. I agree on that. Well, I have another question for you because this is what I saw in a discussion on television. Actually, there are some concerns about elections, especially now U.S. election is coming as well. I know you're not a computer scientist, but I think you might have an idea of that. Could there be a truly possibility that AI sabotaging the electoral process when you consider Trump is now another candidate for the president, the elections in the US, and we maybe he called it speculation, but I'm sure there were some attacks during the last elections as well. So this is another concern that maybe AIs can affect those kind of election process, sabotage maybe the results or any other kinds. What's your opinion on that?
Ceren, could you please clarify when sabotage, you say sabotage, do you mean hacking of the systems like a technical attack, or are you talking about the spread of some fake videos or
both of them actually, because there are some potentials, hacking and also some fake news is now
deep fake content?
yes, maybe that one, but these are the new kind of tools using, and also there were some discussions. Cambridge what was
in 2016
yes,
presidential elections?
yeah, and those are very concerned matters, of course, because of the transparency, especially, and also the voters' vote. Their cast.
Okay, I get it. So, please let me not to speculate again about the possible hacking of the systems, because again, I'm not a computer scientist and I'm not an expert on US electoral system when it comes to the technical infrastructure. So leaving that aside, if we are to talk about the spread of fake news or these deep fakes videos, etc., or the targeting of voters when it comes to social media messages, or just like the 2016 Cambridge Analytica scandal, in which Facebook was used as a platform by Cambridge Analytica, by a firm called Cambridge Analytica, in which the data of the Facebook users were harvested, and after this, each user were targeted. Millions of users were targeted with a specific election message, which was in favor of the Trump campaign, which was against Hillary Clinton campaign. We should remember that. But I think, I mean, that with the AI, especially with the possibility of replicating somebody's voice, or creating deep fake videos in which you can make any person, any candidate, any politician, any celebrity to say some things which he or she has never said. I mean, with the widespread usage of AI-powered tools, this has definitely been quite easy. Even a 15-year-old guy sitting at his home can really produce a very professional deepfake video. But the thing is, I mean, my personal point of view is, when it comes to the 2016 elections, in which Hillary Clinton lost against Donald Trump, it was the first Trump victory. We don't know about if there would be a second one or another one. I think the technology must have definitely played a role, but I don't think like it was just the Cambridge Analytica scandal that made the Clinton campaign lose the election. So we should never totally rely on the explanations which are based on technology, just like, for example, calling the Arab uprisings Facebook revolutions or Twitter revolutions, etc. Definitely.
Sorry about interrupting you, but I think it wasn't only about the U.S. elections that time. An African country was used the same technique when they I don't remember the country, but there were a lot of discussions on that. And also with the past general election in Turkey, actually Kılıçdaroğlu mentioned that to communication president of Turkey, Fahrettin Altun, that don't even try to use Cambridge Analytica. I think this is kind of using maybe deepfake or some fake news, and using some voiceovers and everything like that to create a new perception of people who wanted to maybe cast their votes against the other candidate. Maybe it is about that as well. So not only, I mean, now the discussions, of course, about the US, because all the world is just following it closely, but it is also concerning about other countries, important countries, who has a big role in the world with the relations as well. This is what my question was, actually. Not only US is only example, but what do you think about that sort of matter can be used?
Okay, very short answer. I think, again, technology is not the reason for populist politics to dominate global or national politics. I mean, definitely technology definitely helps, especially the populist far-right politicians, which are so easy about spreading fake news, false news, misinformation, and disinformation. But again, you just gave the example about Kılıçdaroğlu's warning about please do not. I think he tweeted that before the first round of presidential elections. He said, "Do not rely on Russian trolls or that kind of stuff." But you also remember that it was not the new media technologies I mean, in Turkey, the information ecosystem is already so contaminated with the traditional media messages. Just remember President Erdogan appearing in a public meeting attended by tens of thousands of people, which were broadcast live by nearly every national television in Turkey, covering millions of people. And behind him, there was a video which was roughly edited, which showed allegedly the head of PKK supporting the presidential candidate Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. Was this a master degree or a master level deepfake video? No, it was such a easy to produce video. You know, in countries like in Turkey, the information ecosystem is already so contaminated and dominated by pro-government propaganda, so that you wouldn't need a high level of technology. I mean, when it comes to the United States, again, I mean, everybody started to talk about how the Trump campaign took advantage of Cambridge Analytica, and the Mark Zuckerberg was forced to speak in front of the Congress, questioning, etc. But I do remember all of the pollsters in this 2016 elections, and only a handful of journalists dared to visit the Rust Belt towns, Rust Belt cities, and they reported like Trump has become a really favorite candidate. But the mainstream media just resorting to the old school polling and old school calculations really missed that point. And it was not the technology. I think it will not be the technology only again in the future, both in countries like in Turkey and in the United States and in different parts of the world. I don't remember the African world that you were mentioning, but definitely we were talking about Pakistani candidates. Video which was produced with the help of AI, but I think the technology, I mean, just blaming the technology or just praising the technology for political polarization or for electoral wins or losses is just a simplistic approach. So definitely they play a role. Definitely AI will play a role in increasing the polarization in societies, in the spread of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. But I don't think that it will be the a game changer, at least in the near future.
How about the defense mechanisms and also security forces across the world? Because the latest example, of course, coming from Israel, and well, they said this is misinformation. This is not that we use. Defense Ministry made a statement about it that they didn't use any kind of AI technology during the war against Gaza, but still, this is another discussion, and people are concerned, of course, because this is defense system and also security forces.
People are concerned, and tech workers are concerned also. I mean, we are recording this on, let me check the date, sorry for that, on 18th of April. And today, 28 Google workers are fired from their jobs because they were protesting against a joint venture by Google and Amazon called Project Nimbus, which was provided to Israeli government and Israeli military. It's a cloud service in which you can use the power, the computational power of the cloud to just execute any kind of governmental tasks and also military tasks. With that huge computational power, you can just save millions of dollars of hardware money, and you can just rely on the high tech developed by Silicon Valley companies. They just develop the technology, they give you the technology, and as far as we are informed by the news that has appeared in Israeli media in previous years, like the Times of Israel and other newspapers or news portals, the Google just gives the technology but doesn't have a control on how the services will be used. That is why there has been a group called Technology Against Apartheid. They had been protesting against the usage of this high technology, especially during the war in Gaza or in Israeli services, governmental public services. They started a protest, then they just increased the pace of the protest. They just went into the offices in New York City and in San Francisco, and 9 of them were taken into custody. If I'm not mistaken, 28 of them were fired by their company Google. So there has been a concern not only among the public, but also also the employees who are developing those new technologies, and they are calling those big tech firms about stopping to provide technological support for problematic regimes, I should say, or problematic countries. And artificial intelligence, you said, there is an Israeli news magazine, a respected one, Plus 972, and they made an investigative report about the usage of artificial intelligence in the target selection in Gaza. And they resorted to the accounts of both serving and former Israeli military officials. So they get quotations from them. And it has been accepted by a wide part of military strategists that artificial intelligence has been used for targeting purposes, because you need to process immense amount of targets when there is an ongoing campaign or a war or an assault or a massacre, doesn't matter how you call it. So you need that computational power. And the problem is when you can decide on if something is a legitimate target or not, with the help of artificial intelligence, you just resort to the decision made by algorithms. And there is no ethical consideration, there is no humanitarian consideration, there is no filtering of a human consciousness. So that is a huge issue, and we should not only think about the Israeli military, because now Israeli military is running a huge campaign in Gaza, which costed the lives of more than 33,000 people. But it has been used by the Pentagon, by the US military. European Union defense mechanisms are also concerned about the usage of new technologies like cloud and artificial intelligence for military purposes. And it will be definitely widespread, not only with huge ethical issues, but this is a new humanitarian crisis that should be handled not only by the politicians, but by the world citizens.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know your schedule is tight, so maybe we can come to the closure part now. But before that, maybe we can close this discussion with an optimist side of the AIs, maybe. Mm-hmm. What's your point of view? How it will help maybe for the human being when it is used properly in an ethical perspective? Maybe we can close this discussion with an optimist way.
I mean, I don't know about the humanity, but at least I can tell you about my personal experience. It helps me a lot in my daily routine, both as an academic and as a journalist, from proofreading to drafting, making a very basic research about some everyday issues, etc. I'm using it, and I have started to use not only large language models but also image generations and other exciting stuff. And definitely we will be using it. But let me finish by saying that in order to enjoy it more, and in order not to lose our jobs, not to lose our humanity, and not to be estranged from each other in a more even more polarized society, it should be regulated. And the regulation should not be only the hand of a few power elites, which we call politicians, especially in authoritarian regimes, but also in so-called democratic regimes, which represent the interests of a few or of small groups. The regulation should also include the representation of the interests of a general public, of a wider public, of the netizens, which we call the citizens, of the netizens. So if we just leave the regulation into the hands of government agencies or supra-governmental institutions, then again, I think the digital divide will increase, and it will not be for the benefit of a greater population. So AI regulation should be handled with a broader participation of civil society organizations, of people who are connected to the internet and whose lives will be affected and shaped by the new technologies.
Yes, thank you for joining me today. I think the more discussions will come for sure, and everyone is just speaking about AIs now. They can't help it. So, and hopefully there will be new findings of AI as well, that we are still discovering it. Only it has been 1.5 years in public, but I'm sure it will develop, and we will use it some helpful tools, and it will make it easier our lives as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Ertuna, for joining me today.
Thank you, Ceren İskit, for your questions and for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, yes, this is the brand new world now. As I said before, this is not only the new world, but it's very new for us in our daily basics in our daily lives. And the more will come, the more discussions will come about the AIs. I think I'm in between optimist and pessimist perspective. It is definitely so useful for my daily life as well, and as a journalist, as Mr. Ertuna mentioned that. Well, this is it for this week. I wish you have a lovely weekend, and next week we will come with new discussions. Till then, bye-bye.